Assalamu alaikum. I am Nabila Hassan, and today we are diving into the fascinating world of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. NLP is all about understanding how our thoughts, language, and behaviors are connected and how we can reframe them to create positive change in our lives. To guide us through this, we have with us Miss Manahil, an experienced NLP trainer who has helped many people transform their mindset and unlock their potential. Let's get started with this exciting conversation. Miss Manahil.
Thank you so much, Nabila, for having me. And I am equally excited to, bring forth all the beautiful, wonderful, amazing things that, NLP can help with and, how it can particularly help the field of psychology at this point in time where, every passing day, people are developing, new technologies are coming in, how we as clinical psychologists can update our toolkit with all the wonderful quick techniques of transformation.
All right, Miss Manahil, I want to ask, to NLP and what drew you toward this field?
Okay, so what is NLP, right? So what is NLP? NLP in a very basic term, if I, just put it forward, it would be, it's a toolkit. It's basically around 50 plus set of techniques which are going to help you
All
with
right.
your negative thinking, your negative emotions, your limiting beliefs, your inner conflicts, the behavior patterns which are very disempowering. So, your habits, your personality overall, how would you want to shape it to the desired, perspective that you hold in life as your ideal self. So, it is basically, in the very, very easiest manner, a set of techniques and techniques that have been used for 5 decades now for giving all the sense of transformation. So that is an
Okay. And what was your first personal experience with NLP that made you believe in this power?
sure. So when I started, my journey in NLP, to be honest, I was not well aware of what this was bringing for me. But if I can really be very transparent in terms of giving out my experience, it actually transformed me. We as clinical psychologists, we believe that we are on the end that we have to help other people, right? We have this thinking.
Right. All right.
Yeah, sorry. So we think that we are on the giving end always. But I think, and something that changed in me was that we humans are all in need of development. Even if we are psychologists, there was so much work that was to be done on me as well. And NLP, the first
That's
breakthrough
great.
that I had was in the trainings for my own self. And I thought that, okay, I'm going to heal other people, I'm going to learn this and that and this. And I healed myself actually. And when I healed
Oh,
myself,
wow.
because we have to go through all the techniques in the training ourselves. So when I went through all of that, I was a better person. And when I became the better person, unconsciously, I was projecting out all the positivity in my relationships,
Of
in my
course.
life. And that allowed me to basically also give out to other people. So I think for
Hmm.
me, the first interaction of NLP was a new perspective that I, as a practitioner, needed the most healing to go out and help people.
All right. Okay. For listeners new to NLP, how would you describe it in simple terms?
Yeah, so NLP is basically a technique, a technology that is going to help you enhance your performance. I know that in the world today, everyone is thriving in their own domains, but there is always a need of becoming better. There is always an area where you can improve. There is
Hmm.
always a place where you are stuck because we are humans. We have our shortcomings. So
All
that
right.
is why NLP is for everyone because we all have shortcomings. We all have areas to improve. We all have the capacity to perform better. So NLP
Hmm.
techniques, even if you are doing great in life, there would be areas that make you stuck or is basically becoming a hindrance in becoming your ideal self. Even if you are a doctor, even if you are a a psychologist, you are a teacher, you are an HR professional, whoever you are a human first and then the professional, right? So on that
Right.
end, it's going to help you personally first, and then it is going to take you towards, improving in your profession as well, because only a better person can be a better professional.
बिल्कुल ऐसी बात है. Okay, now we will move forward. How is NLP different from traditional psychotherapy or coaching?
Good. So this question comes up, that how is NLP different from either, you can say, psychology or either psychotherapy, or, all the techniques? Because I myself have the specialization in clinical psychology. Psychotherapy is basically done by a trained clinical psychologist in the particular domain. And when I am using the word clinical, I am referring to disorders. So psychotherapy, I think, goes really well when the person is diagnosed and needs a longer term plan. For example, if I have a personality disorder, it's not gonna be over in 8 sessions, 6 sessions. It's gonna really go long, right? And then along with that, if a person is going through psychotherapy, most commonly they're also going through medication. So psychotherapy is always coupled, by a clinical psychologist and a psychiatrist on board. So this is basically a complete clinical domain where an NLP practitioner would never step in. So I believe that psychotherapy is a longer term process, which is only to be done by licensed medical, certified psychiatrists or clinical psychologists. And
Yes.
mostly it is done in clinical hospital settings where people are on board for a longer time period, couple of months and years maybe, and they do have a staff on board which is actively, regulating their medication along with the process of therapy. So psychotherapy is more of, I think, concerned with disorders, and the cases where, we need to have a medical professional on board as well. While on the other hand, NLP is for the people that are very normally functioning. They don't have disorders, right? And if you see the ratio of people and if you read researches around, you will understand that only in the world, only 15 to 20% people can have a possibility of having a diagnosis of a proper disorder. Rest 75 to 80% people are just normal functioning people, but they're just stuck in areas of their life, maybe their career, their profession of any kind, maybe their family issues, maybe their relationships whatsoever. So for those people who are very normally functioning, receptive people, no need of medication but stuck in life, NLP can help as the great tool to make them better in those areas and perform better, right? So then the question comes that how can NLP then help a clinical psychologist? They can add those tools and techniques in the traditional approaches that they are using. They can incorporate them for better sense of results. So if you are a psychologist plus NLP practitioner, you can use both things in hand, right? You can also take people who are not diagnosed and then people who are diagnosed. And for the people who are NLP coaches or NLP practitioners, they would only take up people who are very normally functioning, not diagnosed, but only working with you for enhancing their performance and making their life better. That's it.
All right. Okay. I wanted to ask, can NLP techniques really help break habits like smoking, procrastination, or unhealthy eating?
Sure. So yes, if I talk about procrastination, I talk about unhealthy eating. Yes, it can. And I think smoking can be done, but I think I don't recommend it to most of my students, because then there are certain biological repercussions that come up and they cannot handle that because they're not licensed medical doctors. So I won't talk about the word addiction. Yes, if you are specialized in dealing with addictions, you can use NLP tools to, add on to your skill set. That is what I prefer. Yeah, for, of course, an unhealthy eating, setting up routines, procrastination, we have the technique of chaining anchors in NLP that helps with procrastination. Yeah, with unhealthy eating habits, we have submodality work, we have swish patterns. So there are lots of techniques in NLP that can help. But then unhealthy eating is not equal to eating disorders. That is something that I do make sure, because with eating disorders, again, there are biological repercussions that can come up, and they have to be dealt side by side. But yes, if a medical doctor is on board, and then you can, work with them. The doctor is giving the medication and you are doing the techniques with the permission of the medical doctor and having them on board, then yes, people do work in coordination, and they're doing and bringing great results. With, Nabila, with uh, issues of mental health, there is no x-ray, right? So we cannot like put people in
All
machines and have the diagnosis, just like, with medical issues. So we have to
right.
always take forward a holistic approach towards healing, a holistic, more open approach. We cannot confine people into that, okay, this is this. I a lot of times also believe, Nabila, that people are misdiagnosed and are mistreated with the misdiagnosis, for sure. So I think that would always stay. There are mistakes that have to be done at times with people, or they are done from people. So what we
Mm.
can do is do our best to reduce the threshold of that, that sense of, mistakes or the errors that are there. So we have to be more sure,
Okay.
more educated for giving all that sense of clarity out there. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Miss Manahil, how can NLP be applied to improve relationships and communication?
Wow, that's a very brilliant question. And I think this comes up very, very often. Now, relationships. So, when you are an NLP master practitioner, I do allow you to do relationship coaching, and that is done through values work. Now, what is values work? Values work is when you identify and align the values of one person for relationship. What is important for them in a relationship? And then for the other person, what is important for them in the relationship? And then we see where are the values disaligned, right? We see what would they want to incorporate into their set of values to make that relationship work. So it is basically called values work in NLP that actually really helps with the sense of, bringing that relationship together. Along with that, there is a lot of cleanup work to be done, the emotional baggage that the both people are carrying. So then we work individually on each of them so they come together as better humans and then better partners. And then communication is for everyone. That is not only for relationships. That is for your home, your workplace, your any place, right? So communication in NLP is the highest focus. So I would rather say rapport techniques by the ideology of Robert Birdwistell, how he sees communication, and then how we can improve it, rapport building, sensory equity, predicates. So there is so much in NLP that is, of course, highly focused, because if there is no communication, there is no relation. Either that's personal or that is professional. So
Uh,
NLP is highly focused on that. Yes, Nabi.
okay. Could you share a quick NLP technique that listeners can practice today?
Sure. So basically, I would just go very quick with that. And I think there is this one question that I always tell people. So this technique is basically called cause and effect. And that is done extensively in the trainings, but I'll just quickly give like the starter of it for people, right? And I think that is just a mindset technique, very quick, very easy to apply. Now, cause and effect technique is basically the first thing that we basically tell people that come on board with us as clients. And that is cause state and effect state. Now, what is effect state? Effect state is any time when you are blaming, shaming, and giving justifications. Blaming, shaming, and giving justifications, right? So that is called the effect state. EFFECT,
Okay.
effect
All
state.
right.
The other side of the equation is called cause state. Cause state. And there are three keywords to it: acceptability, accountability, taking charge. Acceptability, accountability, taking charge. Now let's understand it. For example, I give out to you four words. Okay, I'm giving out four words: my behavior, what people say, what people do, circumstances around me. My behavior, what people say, what people do, and circumstances around me. So, Nabila, if I give you like a column, and that
Mm.
column, so let's say two columns. There are two columns.
Okay.
In the first column, you write things I can control. And in the second column, you write things I cannot control. So you make a table.
Okay.
The first
Okay.
column is things I can control. The second column is things I cannot control. So now
Okay.
from the four words, my behavior, what people say, what people do, circumstances around me, what do you think would come in the first column, things I can control? What do you think would come in the first column out of all four? So my behavior, what people say, what people do, and circumstances around me. Out of all these four, what do you think should drop in the first column? Things I can control.
Uh, what I do, uh, I
Yeah,
can
so my
control it.
behavior, right? Yeah, so
Uh,
my behavior, right? Correct. And what people say, what people do, circumstances around me. These are coming in the column things I cannot control. Simply, right?
mhm.
Now, the ideology and sense of understanding is that anytime I am putting my energy in the second column, which is things I cannot control,
I
which
cannot
is what
control.
people say, what people do, and circumstances around, it
Hmm.
means that I am wasting my energy and incorporating a lot of negative emotions and baggage towards, my body. So the
Uh,
idea is
okay.
that is a sense of the word I used, acceptability. Cause state
Mhm.
acceptability means that I accept that things that are in column two are never going to be in my control. And if I put energy to it in any capacity, I am wasting my energy, right? So things I can control, my behavior. Now that comes into the accountability part. And I'm giving you a very strong question today. How do I choose to respond? How do I choose to respond? So anytime it's circumstances, anytime it's people, anytime what they say or what they do, your question has to be, how do I choose to respond to it? How do I choose to respond to it? Rather than, why he did that, this happens with me, blaming, shaming, giving justifications for your disempowerment. So how do I choose to respond? So what is this question telling? Behavior is always a choice of response. Like it is basically your choice of giving a response, right? So how do
Huh.
I choose to respond to it? And then the
Mhm.
last word, which is taking charge. Taking charge means that you say that, okay, if plan A doesn't work, I'm going to come with plan B. Anything that I keep on doing is better than just me sitting and doing, blaming, shaming, and giving justifications. So I think this is a
Hmm.
quick mindset technique. It clears your lens to look at the things which can be more powerful and empowering for you, can give you success or more chances of success rather than blaming, shaming, and giving justification. So this is a quick mindset technique. And you quickly, instead of wasting the time in the column two, you're just quickly going to go like, how do I choose to respond? How do I choose to respond? And you accept that, these three things are not in my control. How do I choose to respond? And then you make plan A, plan B, plan C. So it's a quick mindset technique that has helped me many times when I'm like literally sitting and like what to do, this happened, that happened. And I just ask this powerful question, how do I choose to respond to it? And then, of course, life is not about finding the right answers. It is always about asking the right question. So that is the
Huh.
right question that you can ask yourself. How do I choose to respond?
All right. Okay. Miss Manahil, for someone considering a session, what does a typical NLP session with you look like?
Okay, so an NLP session with us is going to look like techniques, 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 techniques. There's no talking there, right? So once I have
All
said
right.
actually that, okay, yes, in the first question, first session, I have 13 set of questions that I ask, and that are enough for me to understand the problem. In NLP, we focus on the current behavior and the problem rather than diving deeper and deeper and deeper into histories, because everyone has their own story about life. Particularly, it's not
Mhm.
always you can say the true version of it. Everyone sees reality
All
with their
right.
own perspective. So we look at the behavior and we want to change that sense of behavior, which is becoming the problem, right? So our NLP sessions are back to back techniques and techniques on making that behavior better, which is becoming a problem for them. So that is how the session would look like.
Okay. I must say that stories often inspire better than theory. So, can you share a powerful success story from your practice without breaking a confidentiality?
For sure, for sure. And then, of course, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, over so many years of working, there are many wonderful, wonderful stories that I can share. But one story that I can actually share is very recent, I think, and there are many of a cancer survivor, abuse survivor, many great things that have happened over the years, Alhamdulillah. But one just that just happened like very few days. back was of like, a housewife finding her identity. So, when you are in our culture, I think that really reciprocates with people that, once women used to get married, they used to get into the family network and the upbringing of children. They did wanted to find a career opportunity, but couldn't because they wouldn't be able to move out of their houses. They wouldn't be able to move out to, regain that sense of identity which they left off, right? After getting into the household responsibilities. So I think NLP and its capacity to now empower housewives to start new career, give them a new identity, because
Hmm.
all the trainings that I do are online. So
Right.
they are better able to take out time, and they're taking the trainings. They're doing their own businesses now, because once you graduate from my training, you can start taking paid clients also. So now they're getting
Okay.
into that. They're, making their lives of the children better. They're making their identity better. And, once they get their certification, that international certification, that woman told me that, this is something that has given me my self back. So I think it's beautiful how it is now providing identity to people in most beautiful, meaningful ways. So I think a housewife's story is very recent, and many of them, they are now transforming their life and the lives of women around. I think it's really beautiful.
Ah, okay. Some people are skeptical about NLP, and NLP is sometimes criticized as a pseudoscience. What is your response to skeptics?
Good. So I think skeptical or being skeptical about things is not new. Any field that comes up has people talking good and bad about it. So this is, I don't find it like a challenge. I think that's very much common. If anything comes up to the public eyes, it always have to have views on the positive end and views on the negative end. So that doesn't bother me a lot. I technically did my research when I
That's
was getting
great.
into the field, and I always say this thing, that we have to see the results that it is bringing, right? Any false thing
Right.
cannot bring results. So if it is going on for 5 decades and more, and people are just rushing into NLP till date, they're coming after seeing the transformations, and they're coming after seeing the amount of results around, right? So for example, if I am
Okay.
running a
Uh-huh.
successful institute, it's always because 5 people see the person graduated and they come up and say that we want a success like that, this person. So they see successes, they see stories, they see people thriving, and then they come in. So I think that negates the concept of pseudo in itself. No false thing can bring results over years and years and years of practice and all fields of people coming in. So for me, it's always results. If it is giving me results, then fine. What's the definition of true or false? I think again that's human generated.
Uh, okay. Confidence and communication are universal struggles. So, how can someone use NLP for building confidence or public speaking?
Sure. So I think lack of confidence comes with a set of beliefs that are holding you back, right? I'm not good
Right.
enough. What if, people judge me when I come on board? Or a lot of
Mm.
negative thinking can accompany that. People will think I am not good enough, I am not capable. So this is basically coming back. It is just a set of negative thoughts, and it is set of negative beliefs inside you, limiting beliefs inside you. So NLP has an extensive cleanup work where there are 14 techniques to overcome negative thinking, and two more techniques that accompany for overcoming limiting beliefs. So a set of 16 techniques is going to help them overcome the thoughts and beliefs, and eventually their behavior changes. So the shortest answer is 16 techniques.
Okay, moving forward, how do you see NLP evolving in the next decade?
I think brighter than anything. Wonderful in the way that it has been taking the attention and let's say the focus of people now globally. If globally, if you look at the stats of people that were coming out as graduates 5 years back, and now if you look at that stats, it's huge. It's a huge difference. So these days, as you see, Nabila, people are evolving. People want to have everything. People want to have everything. They want to seek everything. So it's the era where people have subjected to online learning. They are preferring
Mm-hmm.
that. So we are teaching people around
Yes,
the
sir.
world. People are learning from around the world. So this, I
Right.
think, internet has given us a huge
Mm.
opportunity to learn, to become successful. And I think NLP has taken its flight from there, where people sitting, because I got all my trainings from Sydney. And of course, it was harder for me to, because I was a student at the same time, to travel to Sydney. I took all my trainings sitting back at my home, paying a good, let me say that I've invested 4 million in my, self
Mm.
development as an NLP and TLT trainer. But even if you make up the resources, a triple of the resources it can take to travel and come back. So I think
Mhm.
it has saved me all that money, and I have used it in further development and making up an institute. So I think this online version and the amount of people getting in, and their, let's say, capacity of now self improvement has increased a lot. People are like, because they've become more aware. So people are getting aware and they are working, and they are now coming into programs like NLP to build their career.
Okay. Okay. Miss Manahil, if you had to leave people with one gem of wisdom, like if you could teach the world just one NLP principle, what would it be?
Okay, so I think one thing that I would always say as an NLP trainer, and after now working with 3 to 4 thousand individuals, one thing I would say is stop thinking and start taking action. I really feel that people keep thinking, oh, this is better, or that is worse, or this is, and the thinking takes 10 years, 15 years. You don't have,
Mhm.
right? Do 4 things and
Right.
then think which is the best to do. But just sitting back at your chair and this thinking, oh, this is bad, or this is pseudo, or this is not good, or this might be not good, or 10 people are saying this about this. I think this is just wasting your energy. Do it and decide, rather than just standing out of the room and deciding how would it look like from inside. So my just a simple advice would be, please take actions in life and stop thinking. Please step out and do something out of your lives, rather than just sitting back and searching and just thinking. Do your research, but then take an action. So I think that would be it.
Okay. Finally, let's end on a personal note. What's your personal mantra or philosophy you live by?
Believe in yourself. I think a lot of the
Right?
disempowerment in life comes from not believing in yourself, not believing that you can do it. And I think it was a day when I was giving my exam, and it was by Ted James and Company. It was my final evaluation exam, and I was the youngest in the batch of 100. I was just 22 years old,
MashaAllah.
and I was
That's great.
sitting as a 22-year-old with people around the world and giving that 7 hours exam. And I think the sixth hour was going on, and I wanted to just give up. I was like, I'm done. This is so much more than I can handle. And at that time, I just closed my eyes and I said, if I've come this far, I can go further. And I think I completed, and only thing and only belief that was there was, Lord is with me, and I need to trust myself because I am his creation and I'm no less. So I think it is to believe in yourself. When you believe in your capacity given by the creator, the Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he becomes your biggest support and he never lets you down. So you believing in yourself is also believing in the creator because you are his
Yeah,
creation. So
yeah.
I think that is what I live by every single day.
All right. That brings us to end of today's episode. A big thank you to Miss Manahil for helping us understand how NLP can make such a difference in the way we think and live. If you'd like to connect with Miss Manahil, you will find the details in the description. For our listeners, remember transformation begins with small shifts in mindset. Thank you for being with us. Allah Hafiz.